After my last video, I realized in many of my videos where I'm talking about narcissism and the abuse from narcissism, where I thought I was getting down to the bottom line and to the brass tacks of what was going on, I don't think I was. So after I came to the realization that narcissism is nothing more than a weapon of choice of the abuser, I started looking at some of my videos and going through some comments and saying, well, what else was I doing that on? Did I think I had the answer? And no, I was above it. I was around it, but I hadn't gotten down to brass tacks yet. Based on the comments and emails, big topic that comes up is still the self-sabotaging. You know, the things that we do as abuse survivors as a result of narcissistic abuse, of being abused by narcissists, borderlines, histrionics. And I may have touched on it inadvertently in some other videos. I went back and rewatched self-sabotaging from narcissistic abuse to see if I had touched on it, and because I didn't think I did, and I didn't. I hovered around it, over it. I talked about in that video, the things we do and how we'll self-sabotage after a little bit of success, and because we're fearing more success. But that's not accurate, and that still wasn't bottom lining to why we self-sabotage. And I thought back on my own life and my own history, and I got myself back into the frame of mind and things I had self-sabotaged and why. And what I realized about myself, it was not only am I sensitive to the criticism of people criticizing me, telling me, one way or another, and that's something we all are, because we get criticized our entire life, and you're always told you're wrong or you're bad or who's better or what you could have, and you're used to that. So we're all sensitive to that. What I didn't realize, and I'm sorry, I'll have to relight this. And I am smoking because this is a stressful one. So what I realized is not only do we sabotage because of all the criticism and the sensitivity we have to criticism, but what I realized is what I also have a sensitivity to, and it's probably the bigger problem into my self-sabotaging past, is we can't take praise or compliments either. And it's to the point where if we get praise or a compliment, it's actually worse than getting criticized. I'll tell you why that is. Because growing up, we always thought we were garbage. We always thought we were, dog shit. So though we didn't want to hear it anymore, we were used to hearing it. And we believed it. See, we believed, our narcissistic abusers made us believe we were nothing, we were worthless, we were garbage. And they did it because they saw us as a threat, because we were the exact opposite. Their intent was to make us feel the opposite of what we were, so we were no longer a threat to them. But being talented people, like most of us are, your talents do come out in one way or another. They're going to come out and people notice it. And it's when the people notice it and they give you compliments or they give you praise, and outwardly you might show how happy you are. You might seem like you're happy you're getting this praise, but internally you're already thinking about what's going to happen when these people find out that I'm not this person, that I'm a fraud, that I'm bullshit, that I'm stupid. And it's based on nothing other than your abuser making you believe you're absolute garbage. So the times I self-sabotage, and a lot of you I think self-sabotage, aren't necessarily because the fear of success. In some cases that's it, but in a lot of cases it's something you're self-sabotaging because you've gotten praise and you don't know what to do with it because you don't believe it. Why would I get praised? I'm a moron. I'm an idiot. I can't do anything. It's only a matter of time before these people figure out I'm just, and then you shut down. And then it seems like you become aloof and you don't care, or however you're going to self-sabotage on whatever you're doing. It's a double-edged sword. You got the abusers abusing you, making you feel like you're stupid, convincing you that, you're this horrible thing. So that screws you up on that end. And then on the other end of the sword, you can't even take a compliment or praise or recognition for anything because internally, the abuser on this side has got you convinced you don't deserve any of it. And that's when you become a recluse and you become a shut-in and you just don't want to deal with anybody. And then there's another part of that with the praise where even if you get to the point where you convince yourself, okay, I'm pretty good at this, I'm really good at this. Even if you get to that point where you can convince yourself you're that good, you will then turn around and say, well, if I'm that good at this, then it must not be anything worth doing because go right back to the narcissistic abuse where you're a moron, you're an idiot, you're dumb, you're worthless, you're shit. Can't win for losing sometimes. You can't win for losing. Until you look inside yourself and get down to the brass tacks of what's behind your actions and why you do what you do, why you sabotage the way you sabotage, you're not going to be able to move forward. Because you're lying to yourself. If you're abused and you feel in your heart of hearts that you're not worthy, you gotta admit that to yourself. You gotta admit that to yourself that I feel like I'm just worthless. Okay, and then once you've admitted it to yourself, you say, how do I fix it? Why is this wrong? And there's gonna be a million ways you'll be able to show yourself you're wrong. This channel is the first time I haven't self-sabotaged. Why is that? Because I've been no contact now for 5 years. So as difficult as these videos are to do sometimes, I know I'm getting better because at this point I can accept praise. You know, if somebody comments positively or I get an email, I'm not thinking about, oh my God, these people are going to figure out that, you know, I'm stupid. This is all, because it's not, because I've been away from that abuse epicenter for long enough now where it stopped seeping in. It stopped seeping in. And now as I'm expanding this channel and expanding what happened, you know, I can now reanalyze some of the stuff I said in earlier videos. And now that I've made this, you know, this observation that, yeah, I thought I was getting in depth into my past, into narcissism, but no, I thought I was, but I was still kind of hovering above it. So I'm going to be making some more videos like this where I reevaluate some of the other stuff I had said, because I'm trying to get down the root causes now onto what narcissism is and the root causes to my behaviors, for my recovery, and to help other people to share these stories. And you know, when I make a video like this and I get back, like when I have one of these revelations and people watch the video and they're like, ding, light went off, ding, light went off, ding, light went, like, and it's motivating. It's not discouraging. Because this condition and this abuse we suffer for so long in such silence, and it's been so lonely. When somebody understands this, which for so many years, so many of us couldn't put a name to it or couldn't put it into words or couldn't explain what was going on. You know, when you get positive feedback like that, when, you know, when I have a revelation, or not like a rev, sounds almost divine. That's not what I'm saying. But when I have a realization about my past, and I hear back like, oh my God, it just, yes, yes. And, you know, I keep coming back like, well, why now? Why do I know it now? And the answer is the same. Because I've stayed the fuck away from my abusers. I've stayed no contact. I've done what I wanted to do. And I'm telling you, the longer you go, the more of this, it just stops mattering. Their bullshit in the past and all that they did to you, it just stops mattering. It just doesn't matter anymore. And it just goes and everything else opens up, and then your vision is just open, and then you can just keep going back, and you realize how much abuse you went through, and how silly your thought patterns are, and how base and childish it almost is. What you believe, what you'll believe about yourself, about, you know, you're dumb or you're stupid or whatever negativity, and it's based on like the most childish nonsense that this abuser's put into your head. You get mad, and then you laugh, and then you get mad again, and then you and then you laugh, because it's so horrible sometimes, and it's so simplistic, some of the lies we've been told by our abusers. It's so simplistic and childlike. It's enraging that they, A, they did it, and B, we believed it. But that's how abuse works. So once you've removed yourself from that cancer, you know, these things that when I make these videos, it's, you know, because I had a thought come into my head, thoughts that I've never been able to think rationally about my past, or about what happened, or these conditions, or these disorders before. Never. Never, because you would just deteriorate into some kind of event where I'm shoveling 3,000 carbs, 3,000 calories into my face in like in a 2 hour period. So this is different this time, and it's attributed to the no contact. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. This is Ollie Matthews, and I'll see you all again real soon. Thanks. Bye.